everybody, this is Cheryl. I'm going to do my best, my damn best, to explain what's going on in the world and how the Mikmaq and indigenous peoples are going to be called on to save you guys. But first, you need to learn this. I've been struggling to try to figure out. So I've stole a bunch of blocks. This is Mikmaq right here. And over the years, the Mikmaq had a lot of people stopping in. Yeah. They're coming in their trade. We had Vikings. We had maybe Knights Templars. Henry Sinclair. We've had fishermen come and trade. We actually went to, one of our leaders went to France on a trip. To France to the fishing Basque, I think, for a year. He came back. He brought that knowledge, and they went back and forth. Life is trade, international. Then something comes along. We have a trading partner. Whoa. I'm videoing. So we have now a French trading partner who stays for a while and build up trade. Now this is France. France has a Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron right now, Macron. And so this is France. And this is Mikmaq. They maintained trade relations. They allowed some settlement. They had hundreds of years of statesmanship, actually, and they brought the Mikmaq people and our leadership over. We studied, we watched, and then we had a leader to go here and study, and they sent a delegation to look at what's going on. This is the this is the Pope, the Vatican. This is the law of the land of all of Europe, everyone in the world. This established what's called canon law that other countries build their laws upon. So the Mikmaq decided to go over here. And the reason we went there is to, one, get the protections of the Pope, the Vatican, human rights and military protections. And we also negotiated our ability to maintain our choice in spiritualities. And this is 1610 in the Papal Bull. So I'm going to take a marker here and put 1610. The Mikmaq have now a relationship. Cannot be conquered. Our wampum and our hundreds of years of relationships since then cement this. Not the belt, not a treaty, not a paper, hundreds of years. And I petitioned the church yesterday, the day before the Pope died. And, but it's not me, it's up to our government. So here we are. The Mikmaq have strong international allies here. So what happens? This is an interesting part. All these people over the world are fighting. These are European nations over global reorder. And part of one of the deals was that Britain divvied up Acadia, parts of Nova Scotia, during the Treaty of Utrecht, 1712. I think it's 1712, 1710 or 1713. And so Britain comes over, and they think they're going to settle, and France will leave and Britain will come over, and whatever this relationship that they had with France is now Britain. The British crown. Let's draw a crown on this. But something happened. Something happened here. These guys came in all bullying, thinking they now are the king of the castle, and they got Mi'kmaq pushed back. Did they ever get Mi'kmaq pushed back? The prophecies are another story. But they got Mi'kmaq pushed back. And the only thing that allowed these guys to stay here was, we need some peace and friendship treaties. So these are peace and friendship treaties. This guy was in honor in their side. So all of a sudden comes something called a declaration by the king telling his people how they must behave in MIkmaki with our treaty partners. And so the treaties and this royal proclamation and Treaty of Niagara, where it's cemented into us, then becomes the foundation for settlement in North America. So you have to realize the Mi'kmaq treaties are over Canada and US, cross borders. And whatever our treaties don't cover, it's the allied nations. And so here now, treaties, Royal Proclamation, Canada, US, or British expansion. This allowed them to make laws for their people. This also saw a time when we buried the hatchet. We buried the hatchet. And we've never broken that. Actually, we buried it deep. So our hatchet's buried. We're holding our side the bargain. But what happens here to the Mi'kmaq people on this side of the deal is this government started oppressing us once our weapons were down and buried. It got to the point where our children were being genocide, murder, and corporations and governments trying to take our lands. So something's happening on this side now. This side now we have Canada and US. Whoops. I gotta start all over again. Let me get this right. I don't want to undo it and start it again. But we see how precarious our world is right now. And this isn't even where we are. Okay. Put the Royal Proclamation, the treaties back. There's the foundation of Canada and US. Let me show you guys this side view. Foundation of the U.S. is based on this relationship with France that Britain takes. Anyways, this is the Mi'kmaq side. And this is the oppression. Then comes Canada and U.S. And they build these governments and they make rules and laws. They make things like Declaration of Independence the U.S. makes. They make, first thing they do too is they make treaties with the Mi'kmaq people. So not only do they have this foundational treaty, the United States has treaties. Canada also inherited these pre-Confederation foundational relations. And they have made laws. Canada made law. They inherited these, but then they made their own constitution, 1982. Within that constitution, you'll find Indigenous peoples' rights protected because we started fighting for our kids back. We started fighting for our women. We started fighting against the oppression. Do you know how we did this? I want to show you. 345 successful court cases for Indigenous rights in Canada. This side is our law-abiding side of the treaty. This side, we've seen the Vatican on this side saying none of their countries can conquer the Mi'kmaq because they are an independent Christian nation over here. So now that brings me to today. Today, Canada and US started making all kinds of governments and laws. I'm going to put these aside for a minute so you can see them, but not to disregard them. Even though they have been disregarded, right? The Declaration of Independence, the treaties, right now they're being disregarded. Canada and the US, right here. Canada and US are now separated, and they want to talk about peace. They're forgetting one thing. This side of the Mikmaq Nation and the prophecies and the strength of the courts of your laws now provide the foundation for not just us and our protection of our territory, but this is Canada, this is America, this is North America. This is a world problem. What we need, and we petitioned the Pope yesterday. I went to the church and asked the priest to guide me, and I have a meeting with our Grand Council this week. So the Grand Council will lead this relationship here because they were established to maintain the, not the pre-contact governance, but they were established to maintain that relationship with the Holy See. And so that's why it's important for our nation-based governance and our Grand Council and our people. Remember the people that stood up? It's important for these people to be a part of the solutions. This in Mikmaq is called free, prior, and informed consent of the people. Now what happens is, what we see in the United States and America is once they try to come back together and make a better world, they're not going to be successful. Because these guys here have risen up And we have all the rights here. This is the treaties. We can collapse or we can ask for interventions. What we need to do, I could collapse it, or we could step back. States, follow the foundational guides, the constitutions, the treaty relationship, the alliances with France. We need France to come out and play a role. The strength of canon law, imperial laws. And then we're all going to come back together and make a better world. And I think the better world is going to see a lot more difference, because you can no longer continue to oppress us. Instead, you're going to have to honor and respect our laws, the new world order, the way things should be done. And this new world order will see not just our people having a say, but people. This is indigenous law. Responsibilities to creation and each other. People need to be a part of this. So the American people right now are fighting for their lives. And the rest of the world, we have to realign. We have to honor the treaties. We have to build this foundation with these people, with our treaty partners, with the first one that we are going to seek out is France. This, I believe, needs to happen. So this is why I'm meeting with my Grand Council and having a discussion on our international relations and our treaties. So that's my first go. I'm going to give it a shout out to Greenland, Nation and Nation, Mikmaq, sovereignty, Greenlandic Indigenous peoples' sovereignty. There's more than just saying I want to take Greenland. If you just take Greenland, you're going to collapse the world. And so Indigenous Nation and Nation treaties, Indigenous laws, Indigenous values and consent need to be a part of this new world order.